So this video is going to be about, I don't know, I'll just talk about loneliness, or wanting to be alone rather, and not feeling as lonely as I once did, like getting used to it. Now, I was kind of hikikomori. That's what I thought it was called. I was hikikomori before it was popular. The Japanese hermits, the hikikomori. That was the only example that I had to compare myself to back in 2013, and I think the term neat, I was hikikomori before the term neat was popular. I think the term neat was, not in education or employment training. I think neat was just becoming popular, that phrase was being popularized. Or rather, that acronym. Anyway, so lately I've come to the conclusion that I really should be alone. Or even if I get a girlfriend, I should just stick with my girlfriend if I get one. There's this girl, I've been playing RuneScape all day, and I've been talking to this girl on RuneScape all day. And yes, she's actually a girl. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they're guys, but this one's a girl, a woman. Anyway, I've come to the conclusion that I should stay alone, Yeah. I wanted to point out that I've noticed, a rise in, weird, music. I was just at a coffee shop, and there was a song that came on, and the song went like this. You're gonna shave, one day you'll shave, or something like that. And I'm like... It made me think, why is there some guy singing about shaving? But just some weird shit, the society is becoming really strange. But there's always been songs like these, if you know that one song, we've got the biggest balls of them all, that song. If you've ever heard that song, that's a really weird song too. And that came out in the 80s. There's weirder songs that have come out than that, so it doesn't really concern me that much. But it makes me think incel, it makes me think this is an incel that made his way onto the radio somehow. So I'm just I don't know, and that's not the reason why I think I should stay alone. It's because I'm in a similar boat to these incels nowadays, even though I get girls sometimes. I get women sometimes. It's just, on the way back from the coffee shop, while I was in the coffee shop, there's this one guy who I don't really know him, but I know his name. I know his. I'm on a first name basis with him, but I don't really know much about him. He's 20 years old, 21, and he looks like he's an incel. He's a sub 5. He's a 3 out of 10. Sorry, I'm going full DBDR on this one. But he's a 3 out of 10, plays music at this coffee shop, and it just got me thinking there's another incel trying to play music. And I'm trying to make music too, but I'm not an incel, so it's just I don't know. Anyway, this guy, another incel, tried to make music, and just like, what the hell? Like, why are they even doing this? But just, I don't know. That's just what it's like. That's what they think. That's what they see. You know, that's what these incels see. They see like that bands get women. So like maybe if they can get enough people into them through their music, they'll finally get a woman. When probably they won't, but maybe they will. You know, it's one path you can take, I guess. I don't think it's gonna work for most of them, but. Anyway, and then on the way back from the coffee shop, on the way back to my house, I was walking in the cold. I saw this guy on his bike, and he's like another 3 out of 10 basically. Just no jaw, just looks like he's real young, but he's probably in his 20s or 30s, probably 20s. He gave me a look of like disdain or something. I couldn't really tell because his face was so like dumb looking, you know, just like it didn't really matter, you know. I was just like, all right, whatever. But yeah, so I've noticed these incels lately is my point. And even some incels like who have girlfriends, like they're not really incels if they have girlfriends, but like, you know, beta providers, whatever they are, I don't know. But I've noticed like these ugly guys, like a few of them have girlfriends, but like most of them are by themselves, and most of them are like incels who like just on the streets. I mean, on the streets and like in coffee shops, and like just around town. You know, there's just been like this like influx of like incels, and yeah, it's just kind of like, it's not concerning. It's like, okay, like these just these random people who are just not good looking, aren't going to get women, and who are alone. And I think eventually they'll go to AI girlfriends or whatever. And even me right now, like I'm pretty fat right now, so I don't know, I can still get women. So not an incel, but I guess my point is, like, I noticed these incels, like, doing, like, like they're always doing music, or they're, like, trying to be normal, and it's just, like, they're not normal, and it's just, like, okay. And here's the thing, I'm not normal either. Like, I'm kind of an outcast, but, like, I'm an outcast from, like, I don't know, like, I'm pretty muscular, too, you know, so, like, I don't know, even though I'm an outcast, like, people kind of still want to like, get to know me sometimes. You know, like, my looks are enough to, like, kind of pull me through most situations. And it's not really just looks, too. It's, like, instincts, you know? Like, that's enough to pull me through most situations. Where, like, these incels, they don't have that, and they just get desperate and angry. And that incel that was in the coffee shop, he was, like, yelling at the women behind the counter, like, very angrily, trying to, like, control himself, but he couldn't control himself. And he, like, pulled off his hat, and he was like, oh, look at me, look, I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to get a haircut, guys. and he was just like... And he was just like, look at my hair now. And he's like balding at 21, you know, he's like 21 years old and he's balding. It's really bad. He looks like he's like a 50-year-old, like when it comes to his hairline. And he's just, look at my hairline, guys. And, no, he didn't say look at my hairline, but he said, look at my hair, guys. And then he said, like, I'll show you my hair once I get a haircut, and you will see what it looks like. And I'm assuming he's just gonna, like, go bald. Like, he's probably just gonna shave all of his hair off. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm losing hair too, but it's not like to this level, man. Like, like this guy's really losing his hair, you know. So it's like, what the hell? Anyway, I've noticed like an influx of these incels who are just like uncontrollable. But here's the thing. It's like they're so like controlled that they like become uncontrollable, and then they just get arrested or some shit. Like, he actually got arrested for stealing too. Like this guy that I'm talking about with the bald hair or whatever. I mean the bald head with like no hair, and his face looks like a Minecraft character. You know, it looks like one of the villagers. You know. One of the villagers from Minecraft. So I'm always imagining him going like, and that's basically that's the sound he makes when he talks too. It's just, even if it's not like like the villagers make in Minecraft, it is still sort of like some like more human version of that, and it's just like. He's just like, it's kind of scary. Like, he's kind of scary, but at the same time, it like makes me like kind of like laugh in my head. I'm just sitting there like looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck am I even looking at? Yeah. Anyway. So I guess I started this video by talking about how I wanted to be alone, or like get a girlfriend and then just live with her, and not worry about like other men, you know, like, except maybe at work, whatever, I can deal with that. But like most of my experiences with other men who aren't incels or who are incels, it doesn't really matter to me if they're incels or not. They're just other men, you know, like most of them are like real cunts, you know. So I know you're not supposed to use the word cunt if you're an American or whatever, but like they're real dicks, you know, like they're real like assholes. And yeah, it's just like I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to talk to these guys out here. Like, I mean that in a general sense, you know. Like, I don't like I've never gotten like a good like. I don't think I've ever had a good like interaction with another man, besides like when I played video games with my friends. So, like when I was younger, you know, when I was like a teenager. And besides that, it's just like you're either at work getting yelled at by your boss, who's a man, probably, most likely. And yeah, I mean, guys always complain about women being in the workforce, but at least when women are in the workforce, they're usually like nicer. Like, you know, even if they're real, like, mean and cuntish, you know, like, that, it's still, like, better than being, like, yelled at by a man who could, like, beat the shit out of you, you know, potentially. Not that women can't, like, fight, you know, like, some women can fight, and actually that concerns me, too, sometimes, if, like, you get into an argument with a woman, like, you don't know what she's going to do later. If you really pissed her off, like, you know? So you really got to be, like, nice to women. And men, you don't really have to be nice to them, but, like, I try to be nice to most people, but, you know, like, with men, like, with other men, it's just, like, whatever, you know? Like who gives a shit? Like, whatever, who cares? Like, they're going to be dicks and assholes because they're not getting laid, and they shouldn't get laid because their genes are shit. And, like, that's just how it is. You know, I'm not saying it's fair, And I kind of understand because it's not like I'm getting all the women in the world, but it's just, it's not going to be fair, and like, it's just how it is. Some guys are just not going to get women. They're going to die alone, or they're going to have an AI girlfriend, or some like combination of that. They get an AI girlfriend, their AI girlfriend rejects them, tells them to go kill themselves, and then they fucking die. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but like that's probably what's gonna happen, right? Right? I don't know. Anyway, what else even happened? There's this other guy. I don't really want to make fun of him because pretty sure he's in a gang, but like he's always like rapping and doing like hand gestures outside of my apartment building. And it's like this guy's nickname is his nickname is Frosty. And I don't exactly know why his nickname is Frosty. Like he kind of looks like a snowman, I guess. But plenty of people kind of look like snowmen. If you have a pointed nose, like a lot of white people have pointed noses, so like anybody could be a snowman, but or it could be seen as a snowman is what I mean. But like this guy, he's just like constantly going out of the apartment building, and like I don't know how to describe it. Like just how rappers sometimes move their hands and arms around while they're rapping to like do cool gestures and shit. Like he's doing that, but like on like hyper mode, like a dance. It's just like it's really crazy looking. Like it looks like nuts. And he has a diagnosis like I do, but it's just kind of nuts. I wish he would like chill out a little bit, And most of the time, like when I talk to him, he's pretty chill. But but man, like when he's doing that shit, it's like, what the hell? I don't know. It's kind of whatever. He can do whatever he wants to, but it looks crazy. If I did that, the cops would probably get called on me. I don't know why, but probably, right? It'd be like, who's this crazy guy? But maybe not. Maybe I'd be able to do that with impunity like him. I just don't think so. I think maybe he's been doing it long enough that if anybody has called the cops on him, the cops are probably just like, oh yeah, that's Frosty. He's just fucking doing his hand gestures. I don't know. We don't know, okay? He's just doing it. I don't know. I think he's trying to like rap too. He wants to go to LA or whatever. He made up some shit about like having friends in LA who want to sign him on for like a rap deal, but he's been in this apartment building for 9 years, so it's probably not going to happen. And he probably just made that up, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just craziness out here in the world. Anyway, that's not why I want to be alone. Like, I don't give a shit what these incels or whatever these guys are. I don't really care. They can do whatever they want to. But I just need to be alone most of the time. Because I don't know, it's just hard for me to be around other people. And yeah, I can talk to people. Like when I was a kid, I was overly socialized, like a lot of boys were. So basically, I can bring myself to, or I can talk to people, But I don't really want to most of the time, Like, depending on the person, like this girl on RuneScape, like, yeah, I wanted to talk to her, like, all day, but even that, like, I logged out eventually, Like, eventually I was like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of typing to this girl in England. She lives in England, which is where RuneScape was made, by the way, in England. I forget where, like Canterbury or something. Maybe not Canterbury. Where the hell was RuneScape made? Cambridge, I think. I think RuneScape was made in Cambridge. I'm not sure. Somewhere near there, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. All these incels I've noticed, like all these other guys that are just... There's this black guy. He was real thin and like just very like... He looked like he was like a drug addict probably. Or like an ex-drug addict. And this guy's an incel, obviously. And it's just like, man, he just went nuts. And like, started like yelling at this guy, like hooping and hollering basically. And I was like, what is with people these days? It's just like, they're going nuts. Even the craziest I've ever gotten, I've never like expressed it, you know what I mean? Like I've never started yelling at people. And I have gotten into a fight before, but that was about it. I have gotten into a fight while I was in a mental hospital. But I've never like expressed my like craziness, like I've never like my mind feels like chaotic at times. But I've never like acted upon my thoughts. Like if I have like bad thoughts, I never act on bad things that I think about. Like I might think like, oh, it'd be a good idea for me to cut my neck again on the other side, and then I never do that because I did that once and I'm never gonna do it again. For one because it hurts. And two, because it's just not worth it. You get sent to the psych ward or whatever, the hospital, and it's just miserable. You get sent to the hospital and like the psych ward. So I'm not exactly a normal guy anymore because of my mental health problems. But a lot of my mental health problems are because the society is so like chaotic, basically. Like, and a lot of the reason my thoughts sometimes are chaotic, like I can't gather my thoughts, sometimes. And I just sit there like in a panic, basically, trying to like be like sane. Like the reason I'm feeling that way is because the streets aren't safe. The infrastructure is crumbling, and although that's happening, I realize that there's a lot of like construction and stuff too, and a lot of the criminals have been locked away and are being locked away now, or will be once Trump is in office. The only thing I'm concerned about that is whether or not they're going to put me into an institution because of my suicide attempt in 2015. But whatever, I've talked about that in other videos. The whole point of this video was just to bash on some incels. Try to I don't know, like I'm not exactly 100% different from every person who is an incel. Because it's not like I get women all the time. So there are times when I'm like, where I want to have sex and I can't because there's not a woman like right there to have sex with me. But like, usually I eventually find some woman, not usually, every time. Eventually I find a woman to fuck, But anyway, yeah, the whole point of this video is just to talk about how I think being alone is probably a good idea for like at least for me. And I think the main reason for that is just because most people are really like loud, obnoxious, and they really get in your ear, you know? They really like, I don't know. Like for example, there was this one lady at the coffee shop I was just at, and she's probably like the female version of a toadlet, except she was tall. She's like a toad more, you know, like really tall, like toad lady. She had short, like lesbian, chopped off hair, and she just had the cruelest, like most like debased voice ever, and she was like scolding somebody over the phone or something. I didn't really pay attention. So it was like really like bad, you know. I was like, what the fuck? So I got out of that coffee shop pretty soon after that. Anyway, it's just like, it seems like this crazy shit like this always happens around me, where like people are like not acting normal or polite. And you think they would if you're like in a coffee shop, you know, you think people would act polite, but not usually. Not when I'm there, at least. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I just think it's a good idea to be alone for myself. And I was hikikomori before the term NEET was even popularized. So the only word that I knew what I was by was hikikomori, which means grass eating, which means like, it's a really demeaning term for like a man who just wants to go his own way and be alone. I've actually rejected quite a few women, actually. Like, maybe not quite a few, but like a few women have asked me out, and I've said no. And even when they were attractive, just because at that point in time, I wanted to be alone, you know. I just didn't want to be in a female's company, you know. But every once in a while, I meet a woman who's like an exception, or at least enough of an exception to the rule or whatever, where she's like quiet and nice, and it's pleasant to be around her, where I can like actually just say, no, I don't want to be alone. I would rather spend my time with her. And that's pretty much what I did all day today on RuneScape. Just talked to this chick. I sound like the guy off Napoleon Dynamite. You know, the brother who's like, you're just jealous, Napoleon, because I've been talking to hot girls all day online. Nah, whatever. I've just been talking to this chick from England who's a gardener. Online today. And yeah, that was good. I'll probably go do that again if she's still online, probably, but she's been online all day. She plays a lot of RuneScape. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Hope you got some entertainment from this story. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye.